What's up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers. This is my NASCAR cheat sheet video for the O'Reilly Auto Parts 253, and we are at the Daytona Road Course. Really looking forward to this race. It should be fun. We're going to talk some lineup construction, talk some strategy as well before we get into it. If you can leave a like on the video, it helps out a ton. Subscribe if you have not yet. Always appreciated. Trying to reach 10K hopefully in the near future. We're like 225 away, so if you do enjoy my content, if you do want to help out, please hit the sub button. It really does mean a lot. Yeah, so I just got done making lineups. Going to talk some lineup construction. It was kind of tough. It kind of feels like a stars and scrubs week with the fantastic plays we'll talk about up top, but there aren't really many plays down at the bottom. There are a couple plays we'll talk about, but struggling to find some value on this slate. But I'm gonna go driver by driver here. Take a look at the quick key. In green, you got the core plays. Yellow, you got the GPP plays, the tournament plays. In red, you have the fades, and then in orange, you have the punts as always. So we'll start up top, and just off the bat, like up top, I think these four are very good plays. I like all four of them, and I kind of have the same amount of all four of them. Kind of a slight lean on Truex and Omendinger there a little bit, but I think all four of them are definitely on play here. Starting with Truex, and for this race, it's only 70 laps. There's not going to be many dominator points. You're going to need place differential. Place differential is definitely going to be key for this race. So, and someone like Truex starting 19th, someone that is very good at road courses, and last year he did finish third here at the Daytona Road Course. But taking a look at his track type history the last 2 years, average finish of 4.6, which is the best on the slate. He has 2 wins, 5 top 5s, 7 top 10s, 8 top 20s, 142 laps led. Fantastic here. Fantastic at road courses in general. So yeah, I like Truex a lot, and it's kind of the big debate this week is going to be Truex or Elliot. Both are extremely good at road courses. Both have had success here last year. Elliot finished first here last year. Truex finished third here last year. But the thing that makes me like Truex a little bit more than Elliot is going to be that place differential. Him starting 19th, I do think he has a little bit better of a floor than a Chase Elliott. But the thing with Elliott, who we'll talk about in a little bit, he has that ability to lead laps, and I don't know, it's a tough one. So, like I said, dominator points aren't that important, but if Elliott's going to go out here and dominate, say, half the race, 3/4 of the race, then you're going to need him. But if he's not able to dominate a ton of laps, then he's not going to be a good play. So it's kind of tough to see where I want to go more so on the Truex side for the safety. But if you're looking for like a really good GPP tournament play, Elliott's probably my favorite tournament play. So we'll take a look. Like I said, last year he led 34 laps here. He finished first. And just taking a look at the track type history, it's fantastic. 8 races. In his last 8 road course races, 5 wins, 6 top 5s. Like, he is fantastic here. 231 laps led. So it would not shock me in the slightest if Chase Elliott went out here, dominated half the race, got a top 3, or even won the race as well. So that's why I'm definitely having my eye on Chase Elliott, just because of the track type history, because he ran so well here last year, and because he is starting first. There aren't many laps to lead, but if he does lead the majority of them, I mean, it's going to be definitely worth it. So I do like Elliott. Like I said, if you're looking for a safer play, I'd probably go to the Truex side because you're getting more place differential. But yeah, Elliott definitely has potential to lead a lot of laps here. Ryan Blaney starting 27th, another good play. Like I said, I like all these 4. I like Blaney. Starting 27th, you're going to get a lot more place differential than a guy like Elliott, than a guy like Truex. I do think he has a lot of upside. He did finish 31st here last year, but other than that, pretty solid at road courses in general. Average finish of 12.4 in his last 8 races, only 1 win. But he does have 4 top 5s in his last races, so finished in the top 5 in half of his last 8 races. Pretty good numbers there, leading 30 laps as well. I don't expect him to go out there and lead laps or anything, but I could see him finish in the top 5. So I think Blaney's a good play. Lots of place differential, and he's expensive, but solid play there. AJ Omendinger starting 34th, so he is in the 16th car, and it's not the greatest equipment in the world, but he is very, very good at road courses. So I think Omendinger is going to be a very good play. I don't think he's going to be crazy high owned, but I do think he is going to carry some decent ownership. Just starting 34th, he's going to have so much place differential. I don't see him going back, obviously. I see him finishing maybe in the top 15, possibly top 10 upside for sure with Omendinger here. So it's really hard to ignore that place differential upside. And like I said, I do think place differential is going to be key. So Omendinger is somebody I definitely have my eye on. If I had to rank them, these 4, it's so tough. I'd probably say Truex, number 1, I do think he has potential to win. I actually think he has potential to lead laps. Nice place differential as well. So Truex 1, Omendinger 2, Elliot 3, and Blaney 4, but it's all so close. When I did my ownership, they were all so close. So those 4, I'm going to have a ton of ownership on them. Going down a little bit, Kyle Busch, he is interesting. So he did win the Clash. He looked really good as a whole. And, I remember playing Kyle Busch last year quite a bit. It did not work out. Very disappointing season for Kyle Busch last year. I am expecting to bounce back this year. The thing about Kyle Busch, not the best at road courses. Average finish of 19.6 in his last 8 races. So he's been, pretty awful, honestly, in his past, couple years here. So a couple years at road courses. So yeah, it's just hard to get there with, Omendinger, Blaney, Elliot, Truex. It is hard to get there, but the dude did win the Clash. I think I'll have a little bit of Kyle Busch. It's not something I'm overly excited to go to. Denny Hamlin, he did finish second here last year, 16 laps led, starting 4th. I think he's somebody that has potential to lead laps. It's just, is he going to go out there and dominate, a decent amount of laps to the point where he's going to end up in the optimal lineup? If so, I think he's a decent play, but if he does not lead the majority of the laps, I don't see him finding the optimal lineup. So I do think he's going to have to dominate a lot and probably get like a top 5 to find the optimal lineup. Can he? It's possible, but I'm leaning towards no, not really. So not going to have much Hamlin, but I don't really hate him as a tournament play. Brad Keselowski starting 15th. He did finish 13th here last year. Taking a look at the track type history, Brad Keselowski average finish of 15.5. One top 5 in his last 8 races. Don't really want to go there. The price is intriguing. Where he's starting is a little bit intriguing, starting 15th. But like I said earlier, it's pretty much like a stars and scrubs week for me. I love the 4 guys up top. I'm going to be, focusing the majority of my lineups up top there, and then going down and finding some value below. So I don't really like this range of the 9,200 and up. I really don't love it. Brad Keselowski, so I think he's okay, but not something I really want to focus on too much. Joey Logano finished 9th here last year. Actually pretty solid at road courses. Joey Logano average finish of 16.6 in his last 8 races. He does have a top 5, 4 top 10s. I think he's fine. I just don't like where he's starting. Starting 11th. I do think there is a little bit of place differential upside, but if he's not going out there and leading laps, I don't really see him finding the optimal lineup. So don't really love Logano. Kevin Harvick starting 5th. Probably not. I don't see him going up there and leading laps. So he did finish 17th here last year. If he's not going to lead laps, it's really hard to see him finding the optimal lineup there. Alex Bowman starting 36. Probably one of my favorite plays on the slate, 9,000. And, he is my favorite play on the slate. He's my highest exposed driver. Finished 12th here last year, and pretty solid at road courses as well. Average finish of 9.6, which I think is like 4th best on the entire slate. He does have 2 top 5s out of his last 8 races, 4 top 10s out of his last 8 races. So half the time in the last 3 years, he's been finding that top 10, which would be phenomenal here. Starting 36. If he got a top 10, I would be more than happy. So Alex Bowman, I'm going to have a lot. I think I have like 65%. It's crazy, but it's really hard to deny how good he is at road courses and just the amount of place differential upside he has. Someone else that's really good at road courses is going to be William Byron. Finished 8th here last year. I'm taking a look at the track type history for Byron. Average finish of 15.9. He does have 4 top 10s in his last 8 races. Another guy, 4 top 10s. In his last 8 races, I'd be pretty happy with a top 10 from William Byron here. Starting 22nd, decent place differential, maybe a little bit pricey, but I do think he has that top 10 upside. Kurt Busch starting 17th. He did finish 14th here last year. Another guy that's pretty solid at road courses. Average finish of 10.9, which is very good. 2 top 5s in his last 8 races. 5 top 10s in his last 8 road course races, and then 8 top 20s in his last road course races as well. So pretty good road course racer is Kurt Busch there. So I don't hate him at starting 17th. I think he's going to be pretty low owned as well. Chase Briscoe is interesting. He's in Clint Bowyer's old car here, starting 18th. I don't think he'll be overly owned. So I do have some interest for that reason. I feel like he could maybe find the top 10 here at low ownership. I don't hate it. Kyle Larson starting 8th just seems like he's starting up a little bit too close for me. And then going down, Matt DiBenedetto starting 32nd. So lots of place differential upside here, 8,100. He finished 15th here last year. And just taking a look at that average finish, which doesn't really matter because he is in new equipment, but pretty solid, really solid. An average finish of 15.1 in his last 8 races, does have a top 5 as well. So I think MBD is a pretty good player at 8,100, starting 32nd. Lots of place differential upside. Would not be shocked if we saw him in that top 20, even top 15. Eric Armarolla, starting 26, another guy with some nice place differential. He finished 24th here last year. Not the best road course racer in the world, but decent place differential upside. Average finish of 15.5 in his last 8 races. Does have 2 top 10s, so I don't hate it. Just another guy with some place differential there at a pretty solid price at 7,900. Eric Jones, another guy that's probably one of my favorite plays on the slate just because he's starting so far in the back, starting 37th, 7,800. And of course, he is in some new equipment here, but still finished 11th here last year. I think it's really hard to ignore where he's starting. I think he's going to only move up. Not a bad price there. Wouldn't be shocked if we saw him, and hopefully in the top 25, maybe top 20 as well. Pretty good road course racer overall is Eric Jones. So I like Jones a lot. Definitely a core play of mine, just due to where he's starting and the place differential upside he brings. Christopher Bell finished 21st here last year, starting a little bit too close up front for me, starting 12th. Would rather go to somebody below him like a Tyler Reddick who's starting 24th. So Tyler Reddick starting 24th. I like it. Place differential upside, very cheap, 7,500. Finished 18th here last year. Taking a look at the road course history for Reddick, average finish of 15 in his last 2 races at road courses. So pretty solid there. And he is, like I said, starting 24th. So there's place differential upside for Reddick. Going down to Ryan Newman. 7,300, another guy that's starting in the back. 33, I do think he's only going to move up. Not the best road course racer in the world. Average finish of, we finished 19th here last year. Taking a look at the average finish for the track type history. Ryan Newman, average finish of 19. Average finish of 21. Can't read. Average finish of 21. In his last 8 races. So yeah, not the best road course racer, but we got to factor in that he is starting 33rd, so I think he's going to move up. Safe play, I guess. I just don't know how much upside there really is with Ryan Newman. I don't see him getting like into the top 20 or anything, but I can see him finishing in like the 20 to 25th range, somewhere around there. Chris Buescher, this is definitely a core play of mine just because of how good he is at road courses. So Chris Buescher, average finish of, he finished 5th here last year, which is fantastic. Did get a top 5 finished 5th, starting 30th here. I don't expect him to get a 5th place finish or anything, but taking a look at that road course history, and pretty dang good for the equipment that he's been in. Average finish of 15.1 in his last 8 races. Does have that 1 top 5, 1 top 10, 8 top 20s. So I think he's only going to move up. And in the past 8 road course races, he's finished in the top 20. I think he finishes in the top 20 here again. I wouldn't be shocked if we saw him in that top 15 as well, starting 30th. I think he's a very good play, very cheap as well. Yeah, so this is where it gets a little tough. After Buescher, the value really drops off a cliff. There really isn't much down here. Cole Custer, I guess. I mean, he finished 22nd here last year, finishing a little bit too close up front for me, starting 13th. But I'd rather play him than like a McDowell, a Dillon, a Chastain, a Wallace. But just look at the guys above him. It's really hard to get there for like a Custer. McDowell starting 2nd. The thing that sucks is very good road course racer. Finished 10th here last year. It's just, I'm not playing McDowell starting 2nd. I think he only moves back. Austin Dillon starting 3rd. Not a good road course driver. I think he's only going to go back. The easy fade for me. Ross Chastain starting 9th. I think he's only going to go back. Pretty easy fade for me. Bubba Wallace starting 10th. I don't love it, really. I'm probably not going to have much Wallace, if any at all. Ricky Stenhouse, so if I was to play anybody in the 6K range, I'd probably go with 6,100 Stenhouse, and even that is pretty ugly. He did finish 16th here last year, though. Taking a look at the track type history for Stenhouse, average finish at 19.6. Does have 6 top 20s. I just don't see the upside, but really there isn't much to go down on here. So I think Stenhouse is in play because there's not much down here. So Anthony Alfredo, don't really want to get there, starting 31st. Probably go down a little bit and go with like a Suarez at 35th. Yeah, it's just so ugly. I guess Suarez is somebody you could look at starting 35th. I do think he's going to move up a little bit. Ty Dillon starting 38th. I do have some interest in him, and of course he's in some new equipment this year, some worse equipment than the last year. He did finish 20th last year here, and taking a look at his track type history is not that great. Average finish of 24.1. So, and then Suarez did have an average finish of 20, but of course we got to factor in that is in different equipment as well. So, if anything, I guess Suarez and Dillon are in play. James Davison, I know it's so ugly, starting 39th though. I guess he's in somewhat of play. Just because average finish of 29.5 in his last two road course races. So yeah, if he finishes 29th, yeah, I do think he has a good chance of being optimal. Not saying he does, but like there really isn't much down here. And then we have Timmy Hill starting 40th. I guess maybe he moves up a couple spots. I mean, he can't move back any spots, so Timmy Hill I guess is okay. So yeah, for me, I guess it's stars and scrubs. I love the top four a ton. The mid-range has a ton of good plays. Alex Bowman is probably my favorite play on the slate just due to the value at 9K. Starting 36, very good here. So Bowman, Jones, Buescher. But like I said, after Buescher, like all the value really drops off of a cliff. Usually you'll get some nice value plays down here, but this week, not really. I mean, Suarez, Dillon, and Davison is maybe some Stenhouse. So that's pretty much all I'm looking at down here, which is so ugly. But hopefully, maybe one or two of them can crack the top 25 and find optimal there. So that's about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you can leave a like, subscribe if you have not yet, I would really appreciate that a ton. And yeah, so looking forward to NASCAR this season. I had a pretty fun race at Daytona last week. Hopefully keep it going this week. Should be fun. And yep, good luck, guys. If you have any questions, you know where to reach me. Twitter is DFS_numbers. Instagram is DFS by the numbers. And yep, see you guys soon.